Today on Toy Deathmatch, in this corner we have Larry the Dino Penguin. And in the opposite corner we have, from Cybertron, Beast Era Megatron. Hey pal, anybody ever tell you how much you look like Barney? Yes. I've heard that joke numerous times. And I have a way of dealing with people who say that joke. I won't bore you with the details, but it involves something like this. Shroom. Saga! Go. Hello everybody, Sparkster1701 here, and for our final review of the Kingdom toys for this month, we're taking a look at possibly the most popular figure in the line, since he has been very difficult to find. We're taking a look at Beast Wars Megatron. Now, of course, for the benefit of those of you who aren't totally up to date on the Beast Wars thing, this is not the same Megatron from the Generation 1 era. This is a totally separate character. But as such, the way he was presented in the Beast Wars cartoon, he did at one point absorb the spark of Generation 1 Megatron, thus increasing his power. And quite possibly his arrogance. This toy is done up as a representation of how he was presented in the cartoon, and by golly, I gotta tell you, after looking at some videos of him on YouTube, I can definitely say it is a very good representation of that character. Of course, most of the videos that I had on were mainly to hear him speak and to see some of his actions. Though one of them was sort of doubled as a music video, as it played the song "The World Is Not Enough" by Garbage. And that song, while being the theme song to the 19th James Bond film, I think it's an appropriate song to go with this form of Megatron. Or maybe for all forms of Megatron, as his ambitions would certainly not be confined to just wanting to conquer one particular world. At any rate, Megatron here has no accessories, so if you're looking for one loose on the secondary market, well, you're going to have an easy time getting him, because what you see is what you get. He has no loose parts whatsoever. Now let's take a look at some of his articulation here. And he does have a lot for a toy of his size. The head can be turned from left to right, and it can rock back and forth. It is on a small ball joint. Of course, the head's also on a hinge piece as well, so you have to be careful with that on posing him. His arms can reach out about so far, and they do rotate all the way at the shoulder. However, you will have to shift the arm a bit to clear the panels here on his back. Megatron does have a joint at the elbow, so you can bend his arm at the elbow 90 degrees. And his arm does have a swivel at the bicep. So he does have the infamous G.I. Joe battle grip. He does have the ability to twist at his hips. So he can do the twists there. That's something we'll have to point out in a few minutes. His legs can be spread apart, almost into a full splits. These little sections here on the side do get in the way a bit. The legs can be turned at the knee from side to side. You can lift his leg up at the hip 90 degrees, and you can bend his leg at the knee 90 degrees. And there is a small joint here in his ankles, thus allowing you to adjust his standing. And of course, for any that may be wondering, yes, you can open and close the mouth of the dinosaur. Of course, since that's where his gun comes out of, that can be helpful in posing how he wants to fire his weapon. Okay, folks, now we're going to transform Beast Wars Megatron here. And, well, it doesn't involve a lot of steps, surprisingly enough. There is a part that will be a challenge, and I will point that out to you when we get to that step. Okay, to start off with, we are going to raise this arm up a bit, his left arm. Raise it up a bit, we're going to shift him over here. This section here needs to be folded down, and it connects to a spot just behind the left wrist. Then, of course, I want you to twist the tail. We should have had the tail like that, but I guess it really doesn't matter. But you need to have the tail where the green section is on top, so it kind of lines up with how his arm is. And then you will take these side panels, and you will fold them down. And connect them onto the arm. The panels are double jointed, so be leery of that and work with them. Don't get ahead of me, Megatron. Then next here for the right arm, we're going to rotate it and stretch it up like so. So the head is upside down and looking off to the side. Then now we're going to turn him around to his backside. We raise up this panel here, which as you just saw, it just popped off. So I guess you can call that a loose part. Something to be leery of. And you will raise out the little dinosaur arms from in here. Just exactly like that. Now, we will turn him around, and this is where the part gets complicated. We have to separate his torso here from the body. It will pop free, as you can see, mine just did pretty easily. But on brand new samples, it will be extremely difficult to get it to pop free. So, if you have some trouble with that, I do recommend keeping a small screwdriver handy to get in there and pry it free. I know I'm not the only one that's had trouble with this. I did see a YouTube video to make sure I was doing it right, and somebody struggled with it to get it to pop. Once they finally got it free, they went like this to it. So, it is a pain to get that to work out. But basically, once you've got his body lifted up, we can fold the robot torso down like this. Then once that's done, you will rotate the head on its plate so that it goes inside. You may have to adjust the body a little bit so that the head will have enough clearance. There we go, to get inside like that. And then now you will take this and rotate the torso like so, so that it stands just like that. Alright, make sure you're following with me on this, folks, and we'll pause for a second. I gotta pick the instructions up. Okay, making sure everybody's now caught up with me here. We next want to fold these little panels out. So that gets everything folded out on him. And then now with that done, we will take all these side panels and we fold them down and connect them together. Now be prepared, you may have to shift things a little bit on him to get him to fully lock into place. But they are of a soft plastic, so they will give a little, so just work with it slowly and with some patience. And it should connect just like that. The next we're going to turn Megatron around for a second. We're going to pull his legs apart here at the groinal area. That's the best way to describe it. It will separate at the groinal area. And you'll stretch them out. As you can see in here, if we move his tail out of the way, there is some white plastic hinges that are double jointed, so it will take a little bit of effort. But there you go, you stretch them all the way out like that. And then, once you've got them separated, you'll make sure to connect the hip piece into the body like so. It may not stay in snugly, but it should go in. There we go. Got to snap in there, so we're good now. Once that's done, you'll rotate the legs so they are downwards. Then you will grab these purple pieces at the top of the leg. You will pull it out just slightly, rotate it downwards, and then push it back in. They basically are forming the outer knees. They don't require a lot of effort. Getting them back in is a bit more of a challenge, but once you've got them in, then we should be good to go. Once they're all in, we will come back here, grab onto his tail, rotate it upwards like so. You make sure that the leg pieces are in here as well, because we're going to come up here to his back. We will pop this section up. Again, it's also double jointed. And then it folds back and locks into place. As soon as I get this leg back into the spot it's supposed to be in. It basically doesn't really lock in. Oh yeah. When you're doing the legs have got to be folded out entirely like that. And then you gently bring the black piece up. So that way these posts will connect into these holes here on the back piece. And that will help hold his legs in place. And we adjust the tail back. And then we will rotate down the leg covers and fold them down to completely cover the legs. And then, there you have it, folks. Megatron's alternate form, a purple Tyrannosaurus Rex, with no clear visible indication or relation to Barney. And I'm sure Megatron would appreciate it if you did not refer to him as such. It's done up pretty nicely. I mean, we've still got that chest popping free here on him. But otherwise, it is a rather nicely detailed look at a Tyrannosaurus. Adjust the head back a bit, and that should help hide all the kibble. Articulation-wise, the mouth does open. It even goes so far as to go that far. Insert the trademark Jurassic Park roar here. The little tiny arms, they are on a ball joint, so they will go out about so far, and they do rotate all the way around. The chest keeps popping open on him here, folks. The legs can be rotated. They're limited a bit by the plastic cover. They can be bent at the knee, and they still have the ankle articulation. So all in all, you do get a fair range of motion out of this Megatron toy. So now we get down to my thoughts. What do I think of Beast Wars Megatron? Well, this toy is pretty good. The size of him is imposing, and that works well for a classic villain. You want them to be big, tall, imposing. That's just a way of them conveying their own evil intentions by looking it. And this one kind of seals the deal, especially in his robot mode. The dinosaur mode, it's okay. It isn't perfect. I think they got too many folding hinge pieces available for it, but it's kind of whatever works. The only real gripe that I have with this Megatron is with brand new samples. The chest piece area is connected a little too snugly, for my opinion. Because when I was fighting with it, there were quite a few times I was afraid I was going to break the toy. And with him being a $50 toy and being very difficult to find on the shelves, you can imagine that my frustration with him was growing for quite a bit. That is, until I got the screwdriver out. But as you can see, once you've gotten it to do that a few times, it will wear loose, and you won't have any problems with transforming him again. So this one is definitely a toy that I would definitely say should wait for a child that has more patience and tolerance for him. Probably a mom or dad that also has it too, because they may need it to help with transforming him into the dinosaur. But all in all, besides that little gripe, I'd say this is a very good toy. And if you were a fan of the old Beast Wars era, I would say consider getting this one to be on your shelves. This one looks pretty good. At any rate, that's my thought. Concludes my review of the Kingdom version of Beast Wars Megatron. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you liked the video, I ask you to leave me a thumbs up here on YouTube. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button so you can join our ranks. Make sure to ring the bell so you'll be alerted whenever we post new content, since there are times we do get a little crazy with content in a month. I also ask you share this video with your friends and fellow collectors. That's what helps this channel grow. And also leave your thoughts about Beast Wars Megatron Kingdom version in the comments down below. Now, next month, fans, for April, we're going back to Earthrise, because I've finally managed to secure the last of the Earthrise toys, and at least one other exclusive that I haven't shown off yet. So, we're going to spend all of next month looking at the last of the Earthrise toys. That'll give us time to hopefully find the last of the new wave of Kingdom toys. So, this is Sparkster1701 saying I will catch you all later.